Hi guys, it's Miss Katie and it's my turn to read you a story for summer reading. So our theme for summer reading is imagination or fairy tales. And the book that we're going to read today is The Little Red Hen. And what The Little Red Hen is about, it's about this hen that's walking down the street or the road and comes across some seeds for wheat. And she knows, if I plant this wheat, we can have bread. So she asks her friends for help. But does she get any help? That's what we're going to find out today. Now, something special about this story is usually I would open the book and we would read. But today we're going to do something a little different. I have my script here that I'm going to read off of, and I have the felt board, which is going to hold up our felt pictures. And as I read, I'm going to put these pictures up here, and it's going to act out our story. Just like when you're reading this story, how you read a story and the words go along with the pictures, that's the same thing here. As I read, the pictures are going to act out our words and our story. So let's begin. The Little Red Hen. Once upon a time, there were 4 friends who lived very near each other. There was a duck, a cat, and an old hound dog. And a little red hen with her 2 chicks. So these are our characters: our duck, our hound dog, our cat, and the little red hen with the 2 chicks. One morning, the little red hen found some kernels of wheat, or seeds of wheat, as she was walking down the road. "Oh, look," she said, "we can plant this wheat, and when it is ripe, we can cut it and take it to be ground into flour. With the flour, we can make each of us a delicious loaf of bread." Everyone agreed with the idea, so the little red hen went to the shed and brought out 3 small shovels. Hound Dog didn't need a shovel because he has paws with claws that he could dig with. The little red hen stood the shovels against the fence and asked, "Where shall we plant the wheat?" Miss Duck cried, oh dear, I don't know where we should plant the wheat. Maybe on this side?" "What about the corner? Oh, how about over there?" She began to run around in little circles, not knowing which way to run. Hound Dog didn't say a word. He went into his doghouse and got a book on how to grow wheat. Then he found a comfortable spot where he could lay down and read. When he was finished, he was so tired he had to shut his eyes for a little nap. Miss Kitty simply shrugged her shoulders, stretched and yawned, and watched the rest of them, especially Hound Dog, because she was afraid he would think of something for her to do. With no help from the others, the little red hen decided where the best place would be. She then asked, "Who will help me plant the wheat?" "Not I," said Miss Duck. "Not I," said Miss Kitty. Hound Dog only snored a loud snore. Let's change our picture, shall we? The little red hen planted the wheat by herself. After a few days, she noticed the ground was hard and dry. She also noticed weeds were growing with the wheat. The little red hen said, "The wheat needs some water, and there are weeds to be pulled. Who will help me water and weed the wheat?" Not I, said Miss Duck. "Not I," said Miss Kitty. Hound Dog was reading the book again and replied, "Not I, I'm just too busy." So each morning, the Little Red Hen watered and weeded the wheat. Each morning, Miss Kitty, Miss Duck, and Hound Dog found another excuse not to help. Are they being very helpful with the wheat? Are they helping Miss Hen or Miss Chicken grow this wheat? No. What are they doing? They're just sitting off to the side while she does all the work. Is that very nice? No. Finally, the morning came that the wheat was ripe and ready to cut. Who will help me cut the wheat? Asked Little Red Hen. Not I, said Miss Duck. Not I, said Miss Kitty as she licked her beautiful fur. Hound Dog just sighed and shut his eyes for a morning nap. The Little Red Hen worked hard all morning, cutting the wheat and getting it ready to take to the miller's the next morning. Bright and early, she was ready and asked, "Who would like to help me take the wheat to get it ground into fine white flour?" No one was awake to answer, so she and her chicks went themselves. So she's taking her wheat off to be ground into flour. There she goes with her little wheelbarrow. By the time the Little Red Hen returned home, everyone was awake. She got everyone ready to make the bread and asked, "Who will help me make the bread?" "Not I," said Miss Duck. "Not I," said Miss Kitty. "Not I," said Hound Dog. So Little Red Hen mixed and kneaded the bread, sighed as she worked, singing as she worked. All right, let's find our picture of her kneading the bread. Here we go. Here she's putting all of her ingredients together to make bread. All right. After the loaves had raised like a high fluffy cloud, she popped them into the oven, and in no time, a very good smell was coming from the Little Red's house. Have you ever smelt homemade bread before, or freshly baked bread? It is probably one of my favorite smells in the world. It's fantastic. All right. By the time the bread was finished baking, her three friends were standing in the doorway. Do you think they smelled the bread? Here they are, standing in the doorway because they smelled that delicious bread. They could smell the fresh, hot loaves of bread. They could see the golden crust with a dab of butter sliding down the side of each loaf. "Who will help me eat the bread?" asked the Little Red Hen. "I will," barked Hound Dog. "I will," quacked Miss Duck. "I will," purred Miss Kitty. "Oh, no, you won't," cried Little Red Hen. "Only those who helped plant, water, weed, and harvest the wheat will eat this bread. Lazy hands lead to empty stomachs." Do you think that's fair? If you did all that hard work and were ready to eat and asked for help and they finally said yes, would you share? After all your hard work and they did nothing? I think it's pretty fair. If they would have helped, I think it would be different, but they didn't. So would you share your bread even though they didn't help you do all that work? Let's get our last picture out. Then the Little Red Hen and her baby chicks sat down to a delicious piece of warm bread, enjoying every bite. She put the rest of the bread in the bread box for the next day. The end. That's our story. Sometimes there's things our guardians or our parents or aunt and uncles ask us to do. We really don't want to do them. but we know it's very nice if we help out. And this is in the case. If they would have helped out Little Red Hen, they would have gotten some bread. So it's always good to help others out, even if you don't want to, because there's always a reward in the end. It could be feeling proud of yourself, it could be feeling good inside because you helped someone, but helping others is very important. So now we're gonna take this story and we're gonna rethink it through. And we're gonna do that by doing the sequence of events. And what sequence of events is putting the events of the story or things that happen in order. So in this case, we're gonna put in order the steps Little Red Hen took to making her bread. So you have your first step, your second step, your third step, and your fourth step. All right, so the first step is what? What was the first thing that happened when she was getting ready for her bread? The first thing you do when you plant, right? She planted the seeds. So step one in making bread is she planted the seeds to grow the wheat. So step two, what did she do when the wheat was ready and fully grown? What did she do? That's right, she cut the wheat. So the first thing she did was she planted the seeds of the wheat. And the second thing she did was she cut the wheat. What's the third thing she did? So she planted, she cut, and what did she need to do to the wheat before she made it into bread? Think about it. You can't just put wheat in bread. It would be all, it's like putting grass in bread. It would taste really funny. So what did she have to do to the wheat to make it ready? She took it and turned it into flour. And when she turned it into flour, what did she do? So she planted the wheat, she cut the wheat, she took it to the millers to be pounded into flour, and then what should she do? The thing that the whole entire story is about. She turned it into bread. So those were our sequence of events from beginning to end. We got first, she planted the seeds. Second, she cut the wheat. Third, she turned it into flour. And fourth, she made bread. Now, if you wanted to get a little bit more into detail, you could have put first, she found the seeds. Second, she planted. Then you could have third, she weeded and watered. Fourth, she cut the wheat. Fifth, she made it into flour. Sixth, she made it into bread. And then seventh, she ate it. But we left it to 4 steps to make it a little easier. So that's the sequence of events. And that's how you retell a story as well. Now, I have a little fun activity we're gonna do. You can't just talk about chickens and not do the chicken dance. So everyone stand up and let's do the chicken dance. And I got my good friend here, the chicken, to help us. Are you ready, Mr. Chicken? I'm ready. Now here we go. We're getting faster. Here we go. Do it as fast as you can. Woo! Good job, guys. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed our story. I sure did. And I hope you kind of leave with a little bit of more knowledge about how you make bread. And what I want you to do today is help someone out. Trust me, you'll get a good reward in the end. So if you guys have a good day, and if not, make it a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.